Hi everybody, Satnam, Shakti here. Just wanted to make this little live stream about how to stay sane when you're in isolation. Because I was thinking that obviously a lot of us are isolated or isolating now, and for some people it's probably quite an unfamiliar experience. And I have a lot of experience in this because I've been self-employed for 16 or more years and I work from home. So I'm on my own, quite isolated a lot of the time actually. So I've got a lot of experience in doing this. So I just thought I'd offer some input. It might be helpful. I'm also really conscious that there are loads of people out there offering help and advice and sending things around at the moment. So I really don't want to be patronizing. But anyway, I just thought this might be helpful if you're stuck at home and you don't know what to do and this is quite an unfamiliar experience for you. Hi everybody, hi Natalie, hi Fiona, hi. So yeah, without waffling, let's see if I can do it without waffling. I am a waffler. So I'm just going to go straight into it. Here's my thing. I think it's really important to have a balance between structure and flow, and some of us are going to be more orientated towards one or the other of those, and that will also vary for us, like day by day, part of the cycle that we're in and so on and so forth. But structure and flow are really important. So for example, have a plan for the week in terms of what you focus on each day, and then maybe also how you divide your time up during the day. So for me, for example, every other Monday is my accounts day. And then, every Tuesday is a something else day. So that's how it works for me. You might be different, but I find having a loose structure really helps. So then I kind of know, I don't have to kind of think about it too much. I know where to orientate my energy for the next day. And then that's where the flow comes in, which is, these days right now, it's beautiful, it's sunny, it's unexpected. So of course, going with the flow, I'm going to grab this opportunity to go out and get fresh air and sunshine. This is going to do me good. It's going to really boost my immune system and keep me well. So I'm going to shift my plans a little bit because it could rain tomorrow or in 3 days time, or in a few days time, we could be told we can't go out at all. So I'm going to make the most of it. So that's kind of the going with the flow part. And also, the other part of the flow is like really tuning into your impulse and trusting your body's messages. And I think this is another thing that is going to be quite new for a lot of people. Again, that's just how I've been living for years and years and years, which is to really listen in to what my body is telling me and what my inner wisdom is. And it's kind of like, I feel like I've been going against the grain of the mainstream for years, decades actually, and then suddenly now the mainstream is going to be asked to try and live a bit more like in the way that I've been living, which is like to tune into yourself and just listen to your body, listen to your needs. Also this comes into, so I've talked about structure, I've talked about flow, now I'm going to talk about the importance of rest and balance. So, most people in the world have been living in a way that is extremely stressful, again, for years and for decades. And this is not good for the body mind. It's not good for your immune system. And it's been too much. Loads of people suffering burnout, stress, depression, which, depression is a result of stress, ill health, and to now have the opportunity to reset how you do things is a wonderful opportunity. So I know that for a lot of people there's fear, there's anxiety about, oh, how am I going to survive, what's going to happen? But this is also, looking on the other side, a wonderful opportunity to reset, right? And to bring more rest and ease and flow into your life and into your routine, because most of us have been living at full pelt for far too long. And it's also a reflection, the microcosm is a reflection of the macrocosm. This is what we've been doing to the planet, and she's just like, no more, slow down, tune in, listen, take care. If your body feels tired, that is a sign to rest. If some part of your body aches, that is a message. Your body is communicating with you all the time. And we've been trained and conditioned to override those messages, just as we have been overriding the messages of Mother Nature, quite frankly. So we're being given this wonderful opportunity to start listening in more deeply. Listen to your body. Aches and pains are a sign that you need to take care of something. Fatigue is a sign that you need to rest and perhaps look at your diet and exercise routine. So balance. Have things in balance. Use this as an opportunity to just really scale down what you're giving your energy to. In fact, you could then also bring in the consideration, what am I giving my energy to right now? Remembering that where you put your energy, that will grow. So what are you thinking about? What are you doing during the day with your time? Who are you talking to? What are you listening to? What are you reading? All of these are ways in which we are giving our energy to something. Our energy is, well, in one sense anyway, it's finite. You only have so many hours in the day. You only have so many years of your life, right? This is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful opportunity for you to sit back and just rest into that non-doing, which I know for many people will bring up fear and anxiety because there's not a great deal of familiarity with the state of non-doing. But allow yourself to go into that and to just drop into a stiller space. And I'll give some tips on how to do that in a minute. And then reflect, like, what are my priorities in this life? What are my priorities in my relationships? What are my priorities with my family? What are my priorities with my health? What are my priorities with the kind of society I want to create? What are my priorities with the kind of planet I want to live on? Right? Like, really go to the deepest stuff. Like, what are my priorities? What do I want to give my life to? This virus, this epidemic, right? It's making us reflect on these things. And again, I'm so grateful for that. It's like life is precious. The planet is precious. Your energy is precious. What are you giving it to? Like, what do you want to sustain? What do you want to grow? Please reflect on this. This is a wonderful time to really take stock and redirect anywhere where you're suddenly seeing, my God, I've been spending 4 hours a day sitting in a car pumping exhaust fumes into the atmosphere in order to get to my workplace, for example, you know. But just think about that. Some other factors are boundaries, connection, and smart technology. So boundaries are really important, even though we may I don't actually, but a lot of people may be suddenly feeling quite isolated because they're not seeing people in the way that they're used to. Actually, you may find after a while that you might go into some kind of frenetic reaching out or some frenetic activity to compensate. But actually having some healthy boundaries in place is also going to be important in terms of, I've just made a post on Facebook because I was getting like scores of people sending me the same messages on Messenger, and it's like intrusive. Ping, 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 ping. I don't want to read all those messages. I don't want those coming into my space. I use Facebook Messenger for something in particular, which is just to communicate with my friends and to talk to clients. That's it. I don't want loads of unsolicited messages coming in to my inbox all the time and having to open them and delete them. It's a waste of my time. So that's one of my boundaries. I might boundary myself in terms of, holding space for people for a certain amount of time. I might boundary myself in terms of the amount of work I do each day. I might, your boundaries, but think about what do you want to boundary. It's not a negative thing. It's a way of expressing love for yourself and staying healthy and staying sane. You might boundary yourself. Again, I don't have a television, and I boundary how much mainstream news I listen to. I do put the radio on a couple of times a day just to hear what's going on and just make sure I know if there's anything important I should be informed about. But I don't have the television on all day. Like, I can hear my neighbour has the television on almost all day, blaring with the news. I mean, for goodness sake, there's better ways to use your time and energy. And that, think of the density of that exposure to facts and information which aren't really, they could certainly stoke your fear and anxiety, let's put it that way. Instead you could be taking a walk in the sunshine and breathing fresh air. I know what I would rather do. So boundaries, connection. On the other side of that is connection. Of course, this is important, but there are so many wonderful ways we can stay connected. I use Zoom for my work. Now I can use it with my friends as well. You can FaceTime, you can message, you can write a letter, you can phone someone. You know, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I was just before this happened, and having been self-employed for so long, I was reflecting on how nobody calls me anymore. You know, nobody calls, and I was really missing that simple thing that used to be so taken for granted, that we would pick up the phone and phone friends and phone family and make time and have a conversation without distraction, without looking at our smartphones, without the television on in the background. We would just listen and interact and give one another that time and that space. Is so important. So again, this is a wonderful opportunity to really connect with all your friends, with your family, and maybe make new connections too. There are so many ways to do that through social media. One thing that I haven't mentioned that is really important for me anyway, which I put into my daily structure and that I advocate for everyone, of course I'm biased because this is my practice, is to have a daily practice. So what that means for me is every morning, the first thing I do when I wake up is, I mean, this is just me, I'm not sort of prescribing this for you, but I do think having a daily practice and having that at the start of your day is really key to kind of setting the tone for your day and for your life, right? It creates your vibration, you kind of set yourself. So my practice is usually to have a glass of water, and these days I'm putting vitamin C in it, so I'm getting extra vitamin C, and then I'll do the following things, usually in the same order, but not necessarily. I read an inspiring book for at least half an hour. I meditate for 15 minutes to 30 minutes at least, and then I move my body in some way for anything from 30 minutes to an hour. So all of those things are part of my daily practice, and sometimes more. So my practice can be anything from 1 to 2 hours every day, every morning, without fail. And that's what sets me up for what I do in life. You know, without that daily connection, I couldn't be who I am. I couldn't offer what I do into the world. It's essential. And I really, really believe that the meditation part of that is key. It's key, especially if you're feeling anxious, especially if you're feeling fearful, especially if you're feeling lost, to continue if you already have it in place, or develop and deepen or begin a way of stilling your mind, calming your nervous system, and being present to yourself. So beginning to unlearn this kind of throwing your energy out all the time, but really learning to begin to be with yourself, and beginning to connect to something that's bigger and greater than your small self. And this is going to be really important for dealing with any future challenges that come up, and I'm sure there will be more challenges and unexpected news. It's going to help you think more clearly when you have to decide what action to take to deal with these challenges, because making decisions from a panicking mind is not going to be effective for you. And you'll begin to access a deeper layer of wisdom and insight and intuition that will stand you in great stead, and you'll be boosting your immunity. So it's proven, it's scientifically known, meditation boosts your physical, emotional, spiritual, psychic well-being. So like, who wouldn't want that? I don't know. So those are just some of my tips. This is an amazing time. We can take this, and if you have got extra time, and I understand not everyone is suddenly laid off and not working, but educate, inform, read, listen to podcasts, watch videos that inspire you on YouTube, learn something new, right? And try creating things. This is an amazing opportunity. It really is. And I was thinking, some friends of mine, they had a dinner party on Zoom together the other day. So you can get creative. You can have tea parties, dinner parties. There's all kinds of things you can still do in a different way. Isn't it great? So ways I can help. every morning from today. I started actually. I'm going to be meditating at 7 o'clock. And a friend of mine started this idea. He just texted me this morning at about 6:30 and he said, "Shall we meditate together for the planet?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he said, "Shall we tell everyone?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So that's simply it. There's no particular thing that you have to do, but what I'll every morning at 7 from now on my page for the next few days, I'll offer a guided meditation which you can join in if you want at 7 o'clock. So meditating for the planet, for all the frontline workers, for ourselves, every day, 7 o'clock. If you want to join in, the power of collective meditation is really powerful. If you want some instruction on that personally, I do. Obviously, it's one of the things that I teach, so if you want to know more about that and get some individual guidance, message me. I teach yoga on a Friday morning on Zoom at 9 o'clock. Everybody's welcome. It's very gentle, flowing, easy and accessible. I have an online course called Awakening Your Ecstatic Potential, which is a 40-day sadhana. That's free on YouTube. I'll post the link below. And my Awakening Shakti group is starting on Monday. It's a whole 9-month program for women of embodying the divine feminine. And also one-to-ones. I offer one-to-one coaching, guidance, healing, intuitive coaching, counselling. So all of those ways, I'm here to help. I can offer resources, and if there's any other help that you want, then you know that I can offer anyway within my skills and my competence, then put a message below. Like, let me know, what would you like, what would be helpful. I've been doing online things for years, so it's great. I love it. Anything you want, whether you want more yoga, dancing, meditation, tantra, tell me and I'll see how I can fit that in. Mindful myself of my own boundaries and really holding space for myself. So I hope that's useful, guys. Sending lots of love. You know, this is a really, really exciting time to be alive. It's unprecedented. We're really blessed. And I certainly feel that so long as we stay in the heart and really tune into the truth that is here, you know, all is well, all is really well. Even though there are some terrible things happening. I know that. I'm not blind to it. I'm very aware of it. I see it as part of a bigger thing, and but personally, well, in my tuning in and in my meditation, what's very clear for me that my part in this is to hold is to really anchor in the light. Actually, that's what's coming through for me in meditation. So I've been asking, how can I serve? What can I do? What is my purpose at this time? And one big part of that is to simply keep meditating as much as I can and to keep anchoring the light and the love and embodying that and radiating that and sharing that when I go out into the world, as much as when I'm on Facebook. I can't read what you've written, so I'm just going to put my glasses on. Oh, hello Shakti, thank you. Yeah, so like that's my purpose, is to anchor the light and to just really hold that vibration and share it, you know, and that is making a difference. I absolutely know that. It's making a difference. Thank you for watching. I love you all, and I'll be doing a live meditation tomorrow at 7 o'clock, so come and join me if you fancy. Lots of love, everyone. Bye.